Welcome to Design Stand-Up, Episode 15, How to Design Emotional Interfaces for Boring Apps, Part 2, by Kotlyarenko of Smashing Magazine. And I'm your host, Ryan Stone, reading to you every Tuesday and Thursday from the best blogs in the design industry, with their permission, of course. It's kind of like a free ongoing audiobook, always being updated with new content from your favorite designers. Whether you are a seasoned design professional or simply a design enthusiast, I am on a mission to help grow your knowledge in all things digital design. We continue today with Alice's post on emotional design and how it is revolutionizing the app industry. So without further ado, let's stand up. How to Design Emotional Interfaces for Boring Apps, Part 2, by Kotlyarenko of Smashing Magazine. Get the world moving. Nearly every interface uses a form of animation. It's the natural way to transition from one state to another. But animations in UI can serve a lot more purposes than signifying a change of state. They can help you direct attention and communicate what's going on better than static visuals or copy ever could. The movement stimulates both visual and kinesthetic learning, which means users are more likely to stay focused and figure out how to use the thing. These are all good reasons to incorporate animation into your design. But why does it elicit emotion exactly? Simon Grazian, who worked on our apps in Crypto and Gemini Photos, believes it's because in the physical world, we interpret animated things as alive. We are used to seeing things in movement. Everything around us is either moving or changing appearance because of the light. Static equals dead. In addition to the relatable, lifelike quality of a moving object, animation has the power of a delightful and unexpected thing that brings us a lot more pleasure than a thing equally delightful but expected. Therefore, by using it in spots less habitual than transitions, you can achieve that coveted stimulation that makes your product fun to use. Animation in UI, Encrypto, and Shazam. Encrypto is a tiny Mac app that encrypts and decrypts your files so that you can send them to someone securely. It's an indispensable tool for those who care about data security and privacy, but not the kind of tool you would feel attached to. Nevertheless, Encrypto is by far my favorite MacPaw app as far as design is concerned. Thanks to the matrix-style animated bar that slides over your file and transforms it into a new secured entity, encryption comes to life. It's no longer a dull process on your computer. It's mesmerizing digital magic. Animation is at the heart of another great UI, that of Shazam, an app you probably have on your phone. When you use Shazam to find out what's playing, the button you tap starts sending concentric circles outward and inward. The similarity to a throbbing audio speaker makes the interface almost tangible, physical, as if you're blasting your favorite album on a powerful sound system. Art is everywhere. As Blair Culbreth argues, polished is no longer enough for interfaces. Sleek, professional design is expected, but it's the personalized, humane details that users smile at and forward to their friends. Custom art can be this detail. Unlike generic imagery, illustration is emotional, because it communicates more than meaning. It carries positive associations with cartoons every person used to watch as a child, shows things in a more playful, imaginative way, and, most importantly, contains a touch of the artist's personality. I think when an artist creates an illustration, they always infuse some of their personal experience, their context, their story into it, says Max Kukuruziak, one of our product designers. The theory rings true. A human touch is more likely to stir feelings. Illustration in UI, Gemini Photos, and Google Calendar. One of our newest products, Gemini Photos, is an iPhone app that helps you clear unneeded photos. Much like Gemini 2 for desktop, it involves some tedious reviewing for the user. So even with a handy and handsome UI, we'd have a hard time holding their attention and generally making them feel good. Like in many of our previous apps, we used animations and sounds to enliven the interface, but custom art has become the highlight of the experience. As said above, it's scientifically proven that surprisingly pleasurable things cause an influx of that happiness chemical in our body. So by using quirky illustrations in unexpected spots, we didn't just fill up an empty screen, we added a tad of enjoyment to an otherwise monotonous activity. One more example of how illustration can make a product more lovable is Google Calendar. Until recently, there was a striking difference between the web version and the iOS app. While the former had the appeal of a spreadsheet, the latter instantly won my heart with one killer detail. For many types of events, Google Calendar slips in art that illustrates them, based on the keywords it picks up from event titles. That way, your plans for the week look a lot more exciting, even if all you've got going on is the gym and a dentist appointment. But that's not even the best thing. I realize that whenever I create a new event, I secretly hope Google Calendar will have art for it, and feel genuinely pleased when it does. Just like that, using a calendar stopped being a necessity and became a source of positive emotion. And, apparently, the illustration experiment didn't work for me alone, because Google recently rolled out the web version of their calendar with the same art. What a character. Cute characters that impersonate products have been used in web design and marketing for years. Think Ronald McDonald and the Michelin Man. In interfaces, not quite as much. Mascots in UI can be perceived as intrusive and annoying, especially if they distract the user from an important action or obstruct a view. The notorious example of a mascot gone wrong is Microsoft's Clippy. It evoked nothing but fear and loathing, which of course are emotions, but not the kind you're looking for. At the same time, studies show that people easily personify things, even if they are merely geometric figures. Lifelike creatures are easy to relate to, understand the behavior of, and generally feel some way about. Moreover, an animated character is easier to attribute a personality to, so you can broadcast the characteristics of your product through that character. Make it playful and goofy, eager and helpful, or whatever you need it to be. With that much untapped potential, mascots are perfect for non-emotional products. The trick is timing. Clippy was so obnoxious because he appeared uninvited, interrupted completely unrelated tasks, and was generally in the way. But if the mascot shows up in a relatively idle moment, for example, the user has just completed a task, it will do its endearing job. Mascots and UI, Remember and Yelp. TonalBear Inc. has recently beta launched another utility that's cute as a button, no pun intended. Remember is a password manager, and passwords are supposed to be no joke. But the brilliance of bear cartoons in Remember is that they are nowhere in sight when you do serious, important things like creating a new entry. Instead, you get a bear hug when you're done with the stage 1 of signing up for the app and haven't yet proceeded to stage 2, saving your first password. By placing the mascot in this spot, Remember avoided being in the way, but made me smile when I least expected it. Just like Remember, Yelp, a widely known app for restaurant reviews, has perfect timing for their mascot. The funny hamster first appeared at the bottom of the iOS app settings so that the user would discover it like an Easter egg. At Yelp, we're always striving to make our product and brand feel fun and delightful, says Yoni DeBull, Yelp's product design manager. We reflect Yelp's personality in everything from our fun poster designs and funny release notes to internal hackathon projects and Yelp Elite parties. When we found our iPhone settings page to be seriously lacking in the fun department, we decided to roll up our sleeves. The hamster in the iOS app later got company, as the team designed a velociraptor for the Android version and a dog for the web. So whenever and wherever you use Yelp, you almost want to run out of recommendations so that you can see another version of the delightful character. To wrap it up, not all products are inherently fun the way games or social media apps are, but even utilities don't have to be merely utilitarian. Apps that deal with repetitive tasks often struggle with retaining users. People abandon them because they feel bored, and boredom is simply a lack of stimulation. By using positive stimuli like humor, movement, unique art, elements of game, and relatable characters, we can make users feel a different way, more excited, less distracted, and ultimately, happier. You just listened to the post titled, How to Design Emotional Interfaces for Boring Apps, Part 2, by Elise Kotliarenko of Smashing Magazine. If you want to learn more about Elise and read some of her other amazing articles on design, just press the link in the show notes or head over to Smashing Magazine at smashingmagazine.com. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to check out the brand new Design Stand-Up group on LinkedIn, where you can connect and learn from designers across the globe, chat about the latest episodes, and much more. You can find a link in the show notes or just search Design Stand-Up on LinkedIn's website or app. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, fill up those coffees, turn up those tunes, and let's design a better world.